Hello! So today I'll be guiding you through how to defeat the final post-game boss in God of War on Give Me a Challenge difficulty. So obviously, major spoilers are ahead. This final fight is versus Sigrun, the Valkyrie Queen. You can fight her after you've defeated all of the other Valkyries scattered around the map. She is a very fast boss that incorporates moves from all of the previous Valkyrie fights. I'm going to go through the fight in pieces, then show you the full unedited fight at the end, so you may want to skip ahead if you just want to see that. So I'd suggest gearing up majorly before trying to take the fight on in Challenge or God Mode difficulties. The misset armor works well. Take runic attacks that give you invincibility frames and stun the Valkyrie, or early on at least. The Realm Shift Talisman in particular was a massive help to me, but the health regen talismans aren't too bad either. So this was my full build going into the fight just for reference. And on to the fight itself. If you get in close at the very beginning of the fight, she will almost always begin with a down/attack. I normally break it with my first invincibility frame giving attack, so my light frost runic attack in this instance. You can also use your heavy runic attack here for guaranteed damage while she's stunned. Now onto something I really want to touch on, weapon management. As soon as both of your runic attacks are down on one weapon, you should switch to your other weapon as it has two other runic attacks which both, hopefully, also stun her, depending on what you have equipped. So as soon as I have a free moment, I will swap onto my Chaos Blades. The stun Atreus attacks also do you a heap of good here, as they give you some free time not stuck in close combat. You should also be using Atreus arrows pretty much when they're up, since the cooldown is so low on them later on. However, there are two attacks that you'll be countering using the arrows, which we will see a little later. Here she uses the shock rings, as I've called them. If she shows a red indicator, then you're about to dodge horizontally. If she just has them in her hands with no indicator, then you're free to block. She will often try to fly up after the shock rings are done, so shooting her with Atreus will cancel her out of the next attack a lot of the time. She then immediately jumps up into the air to perform the triple death pounce. This is one of the harder attacks to avoid, and she will do it 3 times pretty regularly. So it's best to assume she is doing it 3 times every time. As she hits the top of the screen, that's when you need to be dodging. Don't wait to see her on top of you. You need to do it as she is ascending. Get the sound cue for the move down, and it is much easier to time it. Here she lunges in for an extremely quick face stab. She does this quite frequently, so it's a move you always have to be prepared for. You can actually avoid it by dodging bright, or you can in fact stop moving too, although it's very scary due to the hitboxes. So her shock cleave is her extremely easy to avoid with a dodge attack, but then she will always combo it with another move, normally a counterable close attack. If you don't trust you'll get the timing right, then use your light runic attack. Now, I'm taking advantage of the time slowing talisman that I have equipped. This basically just guarantees a few seconds where we're not taking damage, and can rack up some free hits without having to worry. Also allows us to get in a better position or shut down their attacks if we need it to. As time slow ends, I normally use a damaging runic that's less reliable, unless they're in a state like this to ensure some spicy damage without the risk. And one thing I haven't really mentioned is that although my runic attacks are very close range oriented, I am trying my best to keep some distance between myself and Sigrun. We want to see those long range attacks as much as possible so that we can just get free hits off with Atreus. Now for the triple dippy dive. She'll go up with the sound cue and usually repeats 3 times. This is arguably the easiest attack to dodge of hers. Again, listen for the sound cue and check for red indicator. Easily dodged horizontally. She also has her block attack, where she hides behind her wings. It is possible to stun her out of this, or you can also use your shield to bash her out too. She will lunge forward at the end of the block, so make sure you are out of its range. So her light slash attack comes with its yellow indicator. This means you can block or counter it. I'd suggest that either countering or dodging backwards is more reliable if your countering isn't quite up to par. And next up is her Icicle Throw. This is another super duper easy attack to deal with. She always starts off with light homing icicles that can all be blocked. She will show a red indicator at the end, and then she will send out a huge icicle that cannot be blocked. Just shield up until you see the red and then dodge it horizontally. Now for Lava Rain. She'll send out fire from the sky in a straight line, then have to go in for a close attack. Either dodge, or the more reliable method is to use one of your invincibility frame granting runic attacks. Her attacks are quite wide, so just guaranteeing you don't take the damage is massive. So I have lost a little bit of health now, and there's no health crystals really in sight, so I suggest using Rage when in close quarters with Sigrun. Using light rage attacks will allow you to gain a ton of health back, and when she isn't getting stunned from your light punches, use the heavy slam to stun her. Try to gain some distance before it ends if you can. Every so often she will rush in with a heavy red indicated slam attack. Dodge backwards as soon as you see this and she'll shock the ground all around her. She'll continue this with another light attack if she misses. This is your prime opportunity to counter with one of your chosen methods. Now up is Feather Tornado. So she starts spinning on the spot and will fire off some knives forward, which you can dodge horizontally. She'll then combo it with a close attack. Sometimes she'll run around a bit, sometimes she'll go straight in, so get a runic attack ready to combo. Now for the huge Death Smash attack. She will fly up into the air with a red indicator and move her weapon in a circle around her, then slam down, and she hits like 70% of the field. It's unblockable and nearly unavoidable. However, it is the easiest attack to counter in the game, since a single Atreus arrow cancels the whole thing. Make sure you have your arrow spamming finger ready for it, in case she attempts to use it at any point. There is another attack where she flies up into the air, throwing mist on the field. She doesn't do it every fight, however, and it's easily blockable with arrows or runic attacks. So you'll see me putting this all into action now. However, when Sigrun gets to about 3 health bars remaining, she will stop getting stunned by almost all of your runic attacks. Your runic attack should now only be used to give invincibility and or counter her when she comes in close. She seems to have nearly no health left, but you need to play this section extremely safe. Don't get super cocky, only use your runic attacks unless you have to. Otherwise, it is extremely quick and easy to throw the entire fight. I almost died trying to use my talisman early, so just don't get too antsy. Either way, my talisman guarantees the kill without even having to use my resurrection stone. So this fight took me like 2 tries on challenge difficulty, and 10 tries on normal, and about 10 tries on easy. As soon as you get these attacks down, this is a relatively simple boss. You just have to rely on having fast reaction speeds with your runic attacks mainly. But anyways, those are my main tips for this fight. I will leave you with the full unedited fight clip now, so hopefully you'll be able to make sense of the patterns before heading in blind and getting your butt pounded.
Thank you, friends. You have saved the Valkyries.
Sigrun, how did this happen?
Mimir, is that you? You have been freed, but...
Freedom comes at a price, milady.
You speak truly. Countless winters we serve the All-Father. But only through his union to the Queen did we ever taste some measure of freedom.
But aren't you the queen?
There has only been one Queen of the Valkyries, the goddess Freya. When Odin severed her wings, I served in her absence, but it wasn't enough for the All-Father. He used an archaic piece of magic, corrupting my sisters. I tried to contain the damage by imprisoning them in places where they could cause no harm, but soon I lost myself as well.
Sigrun, I'm sorry for being so worthless. I could have done something, or tried at the very least. What will you do now?
I must reunite with my sisters. Together we can restore balance to the realms. You have the eternal blessings of the Valkyries.
Well, we did it, I suppose.
You don't sound very happy about it.
It's difficult to be happy about anything when you're a reanimated head. I'm grateful we were able to set the Valkyries free. But so much of this could have been avoided, if only...
You said it yourself, Head. It does not matter anymore. The past is the past.
Well, that's awfully cheerful coming from you.
I am in a good mood. The dwarves will make use of this helm.
Your dad's a wee bit single-minded, isn't he, lad?
Definitely.